Hello, Algebra 1. This is Graphing Quadratic Functions Guided Practice Problems. Please take a moment to copy down this GP number 1. I would like you to try to graph that equation and then pause the video while you're graphing it. Hit play when you're finished to see the solution. So GP number 1 says I have y equals negative x squared plus 5. So go ahead and pause the video and try to graph that problem. So when you graph this problem, the first thing you need to do is find the x value of your vertex. We talked about a vertex being the highest or the lowest point. I know that a is equal to -1. Since it's negative, this graph is going to open downward. So this vertex is going to be my highest point. In order to find the x value of the vertex, you need to use the equation -b over 2a. This problem does not have a b, so it's 0. So the x value of the vertex is 0. Now you need to be able to find the y value by plugging it into your original equation. -0 squared plus 5 should be 5. So we have 0, 5. The next part in graphing a quadratic function is to find 2 points to the right and 2 points to the left. So here's what I mean by 2 points to the right and 2 points to the left. Let me go ahead and draw my y-axis. And here's our x-axis. I happen to know on this graph 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Should have a point right there. That's going to be the vertex. And that's at 0, 5. I know that this graph is going to open downward. It's going to look something like this. But I need to find points to show how steep each of those arches are going to be. The next value of x to the right will be at x is equal to 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write 1 on my chart, and I'm going to plug that into the original equation. Y equals -1 squared plus 5. Well, that's 1. -1 plus 5, well, that gives me 4. So when I plot that point out, erase this. When I plot that point out, I'm going to have a point at 1 followed by 4. It's going to be right here. The next x value, moving over to the right, is at x equals 2. So I'm going to take that 2 and plug that in. Y equals -2 squared plus 5. Well, 2 squared is 4, and the opposite of 4 is -4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So my next point is at 2, and then 1. Now I need to find at least 2 points to the left. So moving over here, the next point to my left is x is equal to -1. So there's my -1. I plug that into my equation. Y equals -1 squared plus 5. Well, -1 squared is 1. -1 plus 5 is 4. And you'll notice there's symmetry here. What was on the right is the same as what's on the left. The next point over is -2, so y equals -2 squared plus 5. That's -4 plus 5. That gives me 1. So the next point is at -2, 1. And again, that matches our pattern. So looking at this particular problem, I have the graph of a line, of a quadratic that looks like that. There's the frowny face. So that's the sketch of y equals -x squared plus 5. If you need to continue copying that down, hit pause. Otherwise, we're going to go into GP number 2. Alright, class. This is GP number 2. Please write down this problem and then hit pause to give you a moment to try to graph the problem. Here we go. I have y equals 2x squared minus 6x minus 8. So go ahead and pause, try to graph that particular problem. So finding the solution, we're going to do this part pretty quickly. I need to find the x value of my vertex using negative b over 2a. So that's negative 6 over 2 times 2. That's going to be 6 over 4. And 6 over 4 is 3 over 2, also known as 1 and 1/2. Now I need to be able to take that, 3/2, and plug that into the original equation to find my y value. Y is equal to 2 times 3/2 squared minus 6 times 3/2 minus 8. So we have these ugly fractions in there. That's 2 times 9/4 minus 18 over 2 minus 8. So that's 18/4 minus 9 minus 8. 18/4 is 4 and 1/2 minus 9 minus 8. So this is going to be the tricky part. Negative 9 minus 8, that's going to be negative 17. 4 and a half, minus 17. Let's work that out. 4 and 1/2 minus 9. Well, that's going to be 4 and 1/2 negatives. Because 4 and a half plus 4 and a half is 9. Take that, subtract 8, that's going to be negative 12 and 1/2. So, because of space, I'm going to go and erase some of this. If you need to, rewind the video. That's going to be negative 12 and a half. Yuck. Ugly with fractions. Okay, so now we have our x value and our y value. You make your xy axis. The x value we said is at 3/2, which is 1 and 1/2. And then we have our y value at negative 12 and 1/2. Now, here's the fun part. One space to the right of 1 1/2 is 2, followed by 3. One space to the left is 1, followed by 0. So there's no negatives here. Plug each of those in. So if I plug in the 2, I get 2 times 2 squared minus 6x. Oops. Minus 6 times 2 minus 8. Well, that's 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 12 minus 8. That gives me a negative 12. Nice whole numbers here. Okay, let's go ahead and complete plug in the 3. So y equals 2 times 3 squared minus 6 times 3 minus 8. That's going to be 18 minus 18 minus 8. That gives me a negative 8. Okay. You continue the process with your 1. So 2 times 1 squared minus 6 times 1 minus 8. Well, that's 2 minus 6 minus 8. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 8 is negative 12. That works out. There's our symmetry. That's what we're looking for. If you're following the symmetry, you'll see if I plug in 0, I should get negative 8. So let's try that. 2 times 0 squared minus 6 times 0 minus 8. Well, that's 0 minus 8. And yes, we do get our negative 8. Okay, so now we have our table of values. Go ahead and plot out your... Ooh, that's ugly. Plot out your x and y axes. I see that this is going to be a happy face because a is equal to a positive number. Start off by plotting out your vertex at 1 and 1/2 and negative 12 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 1/2. So it's going to be like right around here, somewhere in the middle. The next point is 2 and negative 12. I also have a 3 and a negative 8. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right here. We have our symmetry on our other side. We have 1, negative 12. We have 0, negative 8. If you wanted to, you could do another set of points because this is so close together. I'm going to leave it alone though, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw this part. It's going to go very steep up in that direction. Okay, so there goes the sketch of the graph. Again, there's your vertex right here. The vertex is at 1 and 1/2 and negative 12 and 1/2. Good, got that to fit. My line of symmetry is whenever x is equal to 1 and 1/2. Alright, that's all the time we have. We're already almost to 12 minutes here for this video, so just GPs 1 and 2 will be collected tomorrow.